Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Dr. Arnold Nerenberg. It's my pleasure to be here with you today. We have the good fortune of having Encore here. It's going to be really an interesting interview. I've been a licensed clinical psychologist since 1974. I've been licensed to walk upon this earth since 1941. How long have you been on this earth, Encore?
Since 1980.
Since 1980. Not yet as long, but very interesting story. So the title of today's presentation is, he lost 57 pounds in less than 6 months and is stronger than ever. He lost 57 pounds in less than 6 months. That's amazing. But what's even more amazing, he's stronger than ever. Typically, when you lose that kind of weight, you lose strength. I mean, it's unheard of to lose that amount of weight and be stronger than ever. So you're 202 down to 145. So we're going to do this interview. I mean, probably over 90% of the people want to lose weight. Pretty universal. Obesity is a epidemic throughout the world, particularly in our country, but in many countries. And in fact, I remember talking to Bertrand, who worked in ER for 10 years, our nurse practitioner who we have the good fortune to have join us. And he said the main factor who died during COVID was diabetes. Obesity was the second correlate. People were obese, they're more likely to die from it. So for health reasons, for looks, for confidence, I don't think I know anybody who doesn't want a smaller belly, man or woman. Everybody wants a smaller belly for one, which, by the way, it's healthy to shrink the belly, because if your belly hits 40 inches for a man, 35 inches for a woman, more prone to diabetes. Well, Encore, welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to have you here. So were you born here or in India?
I was born here.
You were born here, okay. So he lost 57 pounds in less than 6 months and stronger than ever. Now, here's the thing about it. Encore told me. He doesn't do cardio. You always hear doing cardio is super important. He doesn't do cardio. So tell us what kind of exercise you do and how you achieved this and what motivated it.
So first, the type of exercises I do is I work on my arms, I work on my legs, I work on my abs, I work on my back, I work on my chest.
So you're building muscle.
I am building muscle.
Now, it's known that muscle raises metabolism, which means you're learning fat even while you sleep, because your metabolism is raised. You're a prime example of that.
Yes.
So when you're doing, let's say you're working on your chest, you're doing bench presses?
I am.
Okay. How many reps do you go for?
So I will do the heaviest I can do.
For how many reps?
So as many as I can do. So
what's the typical amount that you're able to do?
So I'll go as heavy as I can.
Okay, give me an example how heavy you've gone. How heavy have you gone?
So for me, just for bench presses, 135 total.
135. How many reps are you getting with 135?
Right now I'm getting 3.
All right, 3 reps, 135. Okay. So you get 3 reps. So when you go as heavy as you can and you hit 3 reps, that's when you build up the myofibrils. See, when other people are getting 15 to 20 reps, they're building up the sarcoplasm, which is the energy fluid around it. You get a pump, and you lose that pretty quickly. The myofibrils, which the actin and myosin, that stays. That's with you. You've got it. So that's good. You're going heavy, fewer reps, as heavy as you can. Perfect. You're building the myofibrils, which will last. It's not just a pump that goes away in a day.
Yeah, and I'll do about 5 sets.
Yeah, 5 sets is good. The literature indicates 4 sets is after that's diminishing returns. That 4 sets was optimal, just so you know.
Okay.
But hey, this thing is working for you, so just stay with it. Yeah. So you're not doing cardio, is that right?
No cardio.
Everybody says they have to do cardio to lose weight, but you've proven that that's not true.
Yeah, it's not true.
Because you're building muscle mass. That's why. So tell us how you were when you were 202 pounds. What was life like for you?
So I didn't feel good.
And what does that mean you didn't feel good? What ways didn't you feel good?
Well, wherever I walked, I had all this weight on me, And so it just always felt heavy.
Was it tough on your knees, your back? Was it causing any pain?
Everywhere, all over my body.
You had pain all over your body?
Absolutely.
And were your knees problematic? Because a lot of people would wait on them, their knees act
Not
up.
so much my knees.
Okay. What part was acting up the most?
My lower back.
Lower back. And that cleared up when you lost the weight?
It's been reduced significantly.
Okay. Now, has anything in your blood work changed when you lost the weight? Did your blood sugar go down? Did any of your lipid profile change? Do you have any of that information?
Well, I did go see a doctor, and they said that it's all regular at this time.
Yeah. What was it regular? Was it normal before? Or
No, I was diagnosed with pre-diabetes.
You're pre-diabetes. Now you're in the normal range.
Yes.
Did he give you the numbers, or you don't remember?
I don't have the numbers.
Okay. Went from abnormal, pre-diabetic, which is really serious.
Yes.
And then to without medication.
No medication.
No medication. How was your blood pressure when you had that weight on you? Do you know or you don't know?
I don't know.
Okay. So you have blood sugar up there. Anything you know about your lipid profile, your cholesterol, triglycerides, anything about that?
Maybe my cholesterols are a bit elevated.
It was elevated.
Well, the last time I checked, but that was it. Everything else checked out.
So now, but what was it before you lost the weight?
I don't know what it was.
Okay. So 57 pounds. What motivated it? You felt badly?
I did feel badly.
Did you have trouble sleeping?
I wouldn't say trouble sleeping.
So you don't have sleep. It didn't cause you sleep apnea?
No.
Okay.
No. So
walking was a problem.
Yeah. So I did have a moment because I do have some lower back pain that is chronic. So with the 202 pounds, being really heavy, and then my lower back and the issues I have, I actually had a day where the pain was so sharp that I could not walk.
Wow. What? Wow.
A full day. So I was crawling on the floor, wherever I need to go, whether it was to get a drink, go to the bathroom.
Wow. Who lives with you? By yourself? Or?
I live by myself.
Wow. So you're by yourself crawling around your place? Oh, my God.
Absolutely. And so that was a wake-up call for me. That
was the wake-up call there.
Yeah, I've always wanted to lose weight, and it was a very strong desire for me.
How did you put on all that weight?
It was just over time because I was working too much. I didn't have the proper education on how to keep the weight off.
But what did you do to put the weight off? Were you eating candy, cake, pasta? What were you eating?
I was just eating normal food. So it wasn't that.
Normal food, normal American food?
Normal American food.
But a lot of those foods are really...
Not so much meat. I wasn't eating much meat. Occasionally.
What put the weight on you the most? Was it bread, rice? What was it?
It was definitely bread, rice. Yes, absolutely.
Also, that also raised the blood sugar. There's no difference between a fistful of rice, especially white rice, and a fistful of sugar. It turns into glucose.
Yeah.
So that's why you got pre-diabetic. Was that? Now, what kind of bread were you eating?
I was just eating normal white bread.
That's not even normal. They have to do a lot to get that thing looking white.
Yeah, and then you go to a place like Subway or you get a sandwich and you feel like you're eating good food, but you're actually
well, it's probably better than
you're actually eating a bunch of sugar and that turns into fat.
Yeah, that turns into the sugar. Wow. So also that weight, did it affect your self-confidence or not?
Yeah, it basically you don't feel as good about yourself.
So if you had to rate how you liked your body from 1 to 5, how would you rate how much you liked it at that time?
1.
Well, you didn't like it.
Oh, I hate it.
How much do you like your body now from 1 to 5?
Right now, I would go 4.5.
Well, 4. Hey, listen, I talk to a lot of people every day. The average is probably 2 to 3 that people feel about their bodies.
Yeah, you always feel like you can do a little bit more.
Always.
This is just normal. I mean,
that's why you didn't go 5. You went 4, 4.5. You didn't say 5.
Yeah, because we can always do more.
Can always do better. Listen, my experience, when I look in the mirror, I'm 82 years old. I'm amazed how good I look, but I'm extremely disappointed I don't look better. So I think that's the human condition. Yeah.
Yeah, you look fantastic.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That's a full-time job, just staying alive. So tell me about your confidence level now. It's not just your weight, it's also your muscularity and your strength.
Yes, absolutely.
Tell us about your strength. I mean, being stronger than ever.
Yeah.
Losing weight. You know, for most people, they lose weight, the strength goes with it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But you've proven because you can lose weight, you're building up muscle mass. So you lost fat.
Yes.
See, when people say they're losing weight, I say, no, that's not true. You don't want to lose weight. You want to lose fat. Nobody wants to lose muscle.
Yes.
So it's really fat loss. People say I lost weight. I lost a lot of weight. A lot of it was muscle when I had to shrink because I had a heart attack, prostate cancer, one thing or another. And muscle went with it. My strength went way down. I was even a powerlifter, bodybuilder. Now my great feat is staying alive now. But it's stronger than ever. So how does it make you feel about yourself? Let me ask you, so your self-confidence went up. Does self-respect go up as well or not?
Absolutely.
You respect yourself more?
Yes.
Wow. Self-respect. Self-confidence.
Everything.
See, look at that. Look at that. I mean, that's how worthwhile, and you invest a lot of energy, but you educated yourself. Tell us about your education.
Yeah. So I was under the assumption for the longest time that in order to lose weight, the primary thing you need to do is cardio.
A lot of people think that.
And then,
by the way, you do lose weight with that, but it's not necessary. It's sufficient, but not necessary.
Yeah. And so, and basically, yeah, you can do some weights as well, right? So cardio, weights, and then, maybe you eat as little as you can, maybe, one meal a day. Something like I would do is, I liked being a vegetarian. So I would go to Chipotle, just eat one meal a day, something like that.
That didn't work for you, or it did work?
So that's how I started.
Yeah.
Is cardio, just a few weights.
And how much weight came off during that?
So I went from 202 to about 194.
So just 8 pounds.
8 pounds. And then once I got there, I got stuck for weeks.
You got stuck. And now what made you go to stop the cardio, go to weights, you started eating fish and eggs?
Yeah, so I started to go on YouTube because I broke down. I was very frustrated that I could not go below 194. This is just like not good enough for me. I mean, I wanted to get to 150. So there's just a point where you're doing it for a couple weeks and it's not working, and you have to humble yourself. So for me, I was open after me not being able to lose weight.
Drove you to humility.
Just the fact that it wasn't working.
That's the failure right there. Yeah.
Yeah. So the humility is the key to really find the proper information. And so for me, I went to YouTube and I started to.
So you didn't have a personal trainer?
No personal trainer.
See, that's another beautiful thing. You were self-educated, no personal trainer, and you did it.
Yes.
That's even more.
Yes. So I went to YouTube. I did find somebody that I connected with where he was able to explain the information in a scientific way, and it all made sense.
Were you able to talk to him on YouTube, or you just watched?
No, I just watched.
It was a one-way thing. He did the talking and you did the listening.
Yeah, I just watched all the videos, and it made a lot of sense to me. And why not? What I'm doing wasn't working, and this looked like the way he explained it.
Well, look what you did. It didn't stop you. Some people say, oh, what the heck? It's not working. I might as well eat whatever. You didn't do that. It didn't stop you.
What didn't stop me? Your
failure to continue losing weight didn't stop you.
No.
You just rebooted. You went around. You say, well, this is not, you had to admit to yourself it's not working. You were on YouTube. You investigated. And fortunately, you found this teacher on YouTube.
Yes.
But it didn't stop you is the key. Some people say it's not working. Hell, I might as well go out and have a Coca-Cola and have, a slice of pie or whatever. But you didn't do that.
No, I didn't.
So you were really committed. What kept your commitment up? what made you say, heck, it's not working?
I felt like I didn't have a choice, that in order for me to live the next 20, 30, 40 years, because I am 42 years old.
I think you look great. By the way, whatever you do, your skin is like unbelievable. I think you're just having fish and eggs. That's where you're getting your animal protein. And then you're eating all kinds of vegetables now. Is that right?
Yes.
So your eyes have a glow. Your skin looks like flawless.
And when I was 202 pounds, I had a lot of red marks on my face.
No, that's what's unbelievable. What are those red marks?
They were there.
Well, what was it?
I feel like it was the food I was eating that was causing the red marks. And that was the
Did you ever get a diagnosis of what those red marks are called, or how to approach it?
I don't have a diagnosis, but they were there. That
would be very alarming. It's when you have red marks, on your back or somewhere hidden on your chest, but this is on your face, but you present to the world.
And so when you do change what you eat, your skin looks a lot better too.
So what kind of vegetables are you eating?
I eat cucumbers. I eat pickles. I eat white button mushrooms. I eat tomatoes.
Do you have raw or cooked?
Raw.
Just so you know, cooked tomatoes is even healthier than raw. It releases the lycopene, which prevents different cancers. Okay, what else are you taking?
What else I'm taking?
What else other food are you eating?
So, as you mentioned, I eat eggs.
How many eggs do you have a day? I know that's your breakfast. What do you have? How many do you have?
So I'll have, in the morning, first thing, 4 eggs.
And that's the whole egg yolk and white and everything.
The whole thing.
Are those cage-free eggs or?
So I get organic. Pasture raised.
Good.
And it's not cheap, but it is absolutely worth it.
It's worth the extra money, yeah.
Yes, it is. It makes all the difference.
So you have 4 eggs how many days a week are you having 4 eggs?
Every morning.
So 7 days a week.
7 days a week.
Listen, I got to tell you, as an egg lover, I understand this. I love eggs. Now, the only fish you're eating is salmon?
No. So I eat salmon, shrimp, and oysters.
How many days a week are you having salmon?
Almost every day.
Every day. That's got the healthy omega-3s. Are you having wild caught or farm?
Always wild caught.
Wild caught, you're the man.
Always.
Yeah. Wild caught, that's the healthiest.
You don't do farm raised, you do wild caught.
Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't taste as good, but it's worth it. So when you're going this path, taste is important, but it's secondary, wouldn't you say? Or is that true?
And it tastes great. It's not that it doesn't taste.
So how do you cook your fish?
I just put it on a pan and I just heat it up.
You just fry it in what, olive oil?
Yeah, and avocado oil.
Oh, avocado oil is even better. It has a higher burning temperature. Yeah. Since you've done your research, you've done your homework.
Yeah, and so that's the science behind it.
Yeah.
So with the eggs, you eat it in the morning because it's very nutritional, but it's very satiating.
Yeah.
So it fills you up.
Do you have anything with the eggs or just straight eggs?
So I will scramble the eggs and then I'll put salt on it, black pepper.
Just so you know, they say that breaking the yolk oxidizes it. It's best not to break it. So over easy or poached, you get less oxidation of the yolk, just so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's definitely, you can make it any way you want. It doesn't matter.
Well, it doesn't matter in terms of, it's probably even more delicious, but in terms of health-wise, just so you know.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, any toppings that I want to put on there in terms of seasoning.
What do you put on?
Salt, black pepper. I'll put salsa on there.
Oh.
Hot sauce, buffalo sauce. Anything I want to put on there, I'll just put it on there, and that's what makes it taste so good.
Oh, of course, the topping, of course. So you don't have anything with it like avocado or anything like that?
Yeah. So in the morning, I will have those 4 eggs, and then I will also eat 2 other items. So I could have tomatoes and cottage cheese.
We talk about cottage cheese. You would think about dropping it. And cottage cheese is really healthy for you, but the casein protein causes prostate cancer and breast cancer. You would think of dropping it anyway.
Yeah, just because of that reason. Also, cottage cheese isn't very filling.
Yeah.
So when you eat it, it doesn't really satiate you. It does taste great, but you just mix and match. You can have watermelon
and you can have cucumbers,
But
and then you can have
watermelon,
eggs.
they say, but watermelon, not to mix it with other foods. It has to, that's about how it mixes with things. You just eat it by itself. That's what's said about watermelon. Back to all the melons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but why eat the watermelons? You can eat it however you want, but
Yeah.
it's very important to understand not just that you're eating it, but why you're eating it, right? So
Trust.
what does the watermelon do? It's basically 90% water-based, right? And it's sweet, and it's nutritional. So
It
again,
has lycopene in it for one
just
thing.
like the eggs, the watermelon is very satiating, right? And also it satisfies that sweet craving. So if
Do you have a sweet tooth?
I like sweet food,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And so when you have foods like that are sweet, you basically satisfy that craving, or at least
Do you ever eat dates?
I don't eat dates.
Yeah, they're very satisfying in terms of sweet craving. Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
And then also, I love soda. I absolutely love soda. I love Coca-Cola, but guess what? You cannot drink Coca-Cola. Okay.
No.
So I replace it with something called Zevia. And so Zevia is a natural soda based on the stevia leaf.
Oh, stevia is very sweet and good
It's
for you.
0 calories. I like the root beer flavor. It is absolutely delicious.
Really?
And I put
Now,
it.
a lot of times when they put stevia in, they mix in some maltodextrin. Is yours pure stevia?
Well, the soda, I don't know if it's pure stevia, but I'm
we'll
pretty
tell
sure
you
it
the
is.
ingredients because it sounds really good.
Yeah, and it's so if you know you have a craving for anything,
Yeah.
then the key I feel like is just replacing it with something healthy that's similar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So again, if you love Coca-Cola, but you know you can't really have it, get the Zevias.
So are you having any breads right now?
No, 0.
Now, there's one bread that bodybuilders and powerlifters eat. It's high in protein. There's no flour. It's called Ezekiel bread. It's sprouted grains. Just so you know, it's an option. I mean, that's the only bread I eat.
Okay.
This is another option for you. Wow. So you have vegetables. How often do you have broccoli?
Occasionally.
Yeah.
It's not one of my favorite vegetables, but again, as long as you season it up, it'll taste great.
I like it just steam it, eat it, put a little olive oil, just take it straight. It helps prevent cancer. It's the king of the vegetables. But here's the thing. Okay. In my case, it took me a couple of weeks to get used to these healthy foods because if you're eating apple pie and steak and these type of things, you don't want to eat blueberries or apples and broccoli. You just don't want it. You want these other kind of foods. It took me 2 weeks to where I look forward. Boy, I can't wait to have some blueberries. I think I'm going to go get some blackberries today. Well, that's a different kind of thing than before where I say, let me get some chocolate covered halwa. Let me go get some salami. It's a different, after a while, you get to really look forward to the eggs, the salmon. What about yourself? How long did it take you till you got to really look forward to these foods?
Only a couple weeks.
That's what it was for me. 2 weeks. You got to look forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But not initially. You weren't looking forward to it.
No, I was excited to try it because I was so frustrated with being stuck at 194. And the way it was explained to me, it felt like it would work. And yeah. And then just a big thing for me is always eat. It's always the kitchen. I don't ever eat out.
That's the other thing. When you eat out, they dump in a lot of sodium. And they put that sodium as a preservative. I'm not just talking about sodium chloride, salt. I'm talking about sodium bicarbonate, sodium nitrates, whatever. And that helps you, that keeps what it means you're holding water. Now, when you're having watermelon, it has lycopene, which is extremely good for you, and it's a diuretic. Helps you get rid of excess water. That's great. You don't eat out. That's key. I brown bag it wherever I go. I take it, you're brown bagging it.
Brown bag?
When you go somewhere, do you carry your own food or not?
When I go somewhere?
Yeah, do you take a trip? You go to another town, another city?
Oh, do I carry my own food? No. So if I were to, so I went to Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay. I had to go, I won a bet. So I went and cashed in. I have a rule, and this is part of the reason why I did so well with losing the weight, is that if I don't hit the gym, and it's 2 hours straight weights.
2 hours. How many
Straight
days a
weights.
week?
I can do 7 days a week.
Generally, people need to rest and recover and grow. But yeah, I recommend you can start off with that.
You can. It's okay to go 6. It's okay to go 5. But this, for me, I was very serious.
Well, you need to do it to just kind of get yourself going in a way.
Yeah, and also I do it in a way where I'm hitting different muscles every day, so I'm able to recover it.
So yeah, you were saying, so I find this fascinating. What your journey? What were you going to say?
Okay, so when I went to Vegas, I had to cash this winning ticket. So I have a rule, right? And what this rule is if I don't hit the gym for 2 hours, I will fast that day.
The whole day?
Absolutely.
It's like punishing yourself for not working out. That's great.
Yeah. So once you do that for a while, you're going to want to go work out. Like every day, because you
don't want to fast.
Eating is great. And exactly. Otherwise, I have to fast.
So what were you eating when you traveled to Vegas?
Nothing, because I didn't have time to work out. So it was a fast. Yes.
Wow.
Now, when I fast, it's not one of those things where it's just water. I'll drink anything that's 0 calories is fair game to me. So, original hot sauce is 0 calories. Some buffalo sauce is 0 calories. The Zevia soda is 0 calories. So as long as it's 0 calories, and it's not something that I'm eating, it's just something that I'll drink. Those are all fair game to me. But other than that, I will fast if I don't hit the gym.
Now, you're obviously an amazingly disciplined person. What's the source of your discipline?
For me, I just feel like I needed to do it. That I had no choice in the matter. If you wanted to stay alive, you recognize you had to do it. Did you say something this about life and death, or it didn't get that extreme? When I was at 202 pounds, I couldn't walk for a day.
Yeah.
When that happens to you, you actually realize how awful it is to be handicapped. And so you want to be on the opposite end of that.
So it was really a disaster in a way, a tremendous tribulation that really was the catalyst for your development.
Absolutely.
That was the final straw.
That was the final straw. That was the bottom of the bear market.
Well, I see, that's what it takes. So when some of these bad things happen, this is the good that can come from it.
Absolutely.
You couldn't walk. You were crawling around the floor in your apartment by yourself. You were powerless in so many ways. And you said, that's it.
And the whole time when I was getting to 202, so if I was at 195 getting up to 202, I was trying to lose weight the whole time. But once I got to that point, then it's like, okay, I really have to make changes. And
how long did it take those red spots to clear up off of your face?
Oh, a month.
1 month, the red spots cleared up.
Yes.
Well, your skin now is, glowing. Unbelievable. Excellent. Well, it's been an amazing journey. I want to turn it over to see what our people have to say. Is there anything else you want to add before we entertain questions and comments?
Yeah, so I just want to be clear on what I eat every day. Okay, because I think it's very important.
Very important.
Okay. So in the morning, I'll always eat those eggs.
Yes.
Right? And then I'll mix and match about 2 items.
Right.
So that could be cucumbers, pickles, celery. Celery's
very good.
Always putting the seasoning on there, making it as delicious as I can. Okay. Very important. That's the key, is really the seasoning. That's what makes it so fun to eat. And then I will hit the gym for 2 hours. And then from there, when I come home, I will have 2 whey shakes.
Well, whey protein.
Whey protein shakes.
Wow. 2 of them.
2 of them, because I got to make sure I'm getting my protein.
Yes.
Right? And see, that's the key. Why am I the strongest I've ever been while losing this weight?
Because that whey protein is absorbed very rapidly, more than other proteins. And there's an anabolic window where the body's craving it after a workout.
You want to do it within an hour.
That's right.
And it's just, it also helps satiates you, right? To have those whey shakes. And so I'll have that, right? And then I'll eat another meal during dinner.
Like
and
what will that be?
And that would be a salmon, so a piece of salmon.
Okay.
And then 2 more vegetables, so that could be, again, any of those that I mentioned, right?
Yes.
Even a piece of avocado.
Do you limit the quantity of salmon, the quantity of vegetables, or you could have all you want?
So in the beginning, I did limit it a little bit, but as your muscles grow, it's actually okay to eat more and more.
Yes.
So because
you have to maintain.
Yeah, because your muscles actually need it.
Yes.
So what's happened to me is during dinner, now I'll eat all the salmon I want, and I don't just eat salmon. I eat shrimp, I eat oysters, and I'll just eat it and eat it and eat it, and until I'm full. And then even sometimes I'll cook up more later. So it's not just the 2 meals.
Yeah.
The more muscle you have, the more you can just get away with eating more.
When I was doing my powerlifting, whatever, we would eat like 6 times a day just to keep feeding the muscles. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you build your muscles, you are basically creating a machine for your body, and it allows you to eat more food.
Well, let's expand a little bit on weightlifting. You're building muscle. But a lot of people don't realize this. You're strengthening your bones. Because as you get older, if you don't have the muscles, you'll be fragile. As a matter of fact, the most important body part to be strong for long life are legs. Because a lot of people, they get older, they become fragile, their legs aren't strong, they start falling. It's broken hips and shoulders that lead to people's demise at the end. So getting strong legs, you're getting strong bones, and they call muscles the youth gland. It actually secretes different hormones, we're finding from the muscle. So it's to some extent, muscles are the fountain of youth. So it not only looks good, gives you strength, self-confidence, self-respect, self-esteem, all that gets tied into it, but also it's so healthy in so many ways.
Yeah. And so for me, why did I give up the cardio? So this is very important. Okay. And so oftentimes when you do cardio, so let's say if I were to do cardio and worked on my legs, and then I went and hit the weights, and I did that for my legs as well. They interfere with each other. And so it's almost in a way a waste of time. So
if you look at a lot of runners who are big on running, they become really skinny, no muscle at all.
Yeah. So instead of if I hit 2 hours in the gym, instead of spending 1 hour in cardio and 1 hour working on my legs, I just take the full 2 hours. I hit the gym and just do all the weights. And so
now, okay, let me ask you this question. 2 hours is a long time in the gym. Most people could go in 45 minutes, an hour, and really get a lot done. Let me ask you this. I know you're getting results. You love the results. Do you ever just say, heck, I don't really feel like working out. I hate doing this right now. You ever have that?
It is one of my favorite times of the day. It feels amazing to hit the gym. It is absolutely.
I know it's amazing. The feeling you get after. Is it amazing when you hit it?
Before I hit it? So, and there's another thing I do. So I do have to mention, this is very important, is that I go to Starbucks before I hit the gym, and this is routine for me.
Pre-workout coffee?
I go and get myself, and obviously you should get whatever works for you, but for me, I will get 2 venti iced cafe Americanos. Now, I know it's a little bit extreme, so I don't recommend that for others because it's a lot, but I go and get coffee, right? And then I go to the gym.
Coffee is a great pre-workout drink, no doubt about it.
And the benefit of coffee is that it actually reduces any pain you're feeling when you are doing your workout.
And coffee helps prevent diabetes. And helps prevent Alzheimer's.
And also it regulates your appetite. So basically it has multiple purposes. It helps you get through your workout. So I'll go in, I'll drink the coffee, and we know that elevates your mood, right? When you drink coffee. So your mood's already elevated.
Yeah.
And then you go in and you're going doing your whatever weights you're doing, right, for that day. And you're seeing if you can lift more than last time, is it the same? But
so you actually enjoy the lifting itself. I want to be totally honest. You actually enjoy the lifting?
I don't just enjoy the lifting. It is an immensely joyful experience.
Is that right? I don't think most people have it.
It is because
that's good. That's good that you have
because because it builds on itself, right? So you're doing 20 pounds, and then all of a sudden now you're doing 25, and then all of a sudden you're doing 30, and then you're doing 35, and then maybe you get to 35 and you're like, oh, okay, maybe I'm not lifting anymore for a couple of weeks, or maybe you take a little setback, but then you get another jump up, and then you're surprised about it, and it's just it's basically it's a culture. Right? You go into the gym, you get to know everyone, they get to know you, and they see the progress you're making over time. And then they're like coming up to you and say, wow, how did you do it? And then you become friends with everybody.
Did you have any before and after? You have any before pictures as well as after?
I do have a before picture.
Yeah. I'm hold it up to the camera.
And I'm going to bring that out right now.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and, this is my before picture.
Who's that guy?
Yeah. Who's this guy? Yeah.
Anybody who would meet you would never know what you had to do to be this. They wouldn't know your journey. So it's really good that you're sharing it. It's a beautiful legacy to inspire other people. Now, I know you take a few supplements. Why don't you say what those supplements are?
So I take magnesium citrate.
Now, why do you take magnesium citrate?
It just helps with muscle repair. And
it's also very good for your heart and your brain. Very good for it. Yeah. Also, if a person gets a heart attack, if they're getting sufficient magnesium, it reduces the damage to the heart. Excellent. And what milligrams do you take?
I just take about 500.
500 is a good dosage. Yeah. And the other one is what? Carnitine?
L-carnitine.
L-carnitine. Yeah. That's also very good for the heart. It helps bring the fatty acids into the heart for energy. Very good. Very, very good. L-carnitine is good, and especially vegetarians need that because you can only get that from animal products, which you're getting having your fish or whatnot.
And I just do want to bring this up. Basically, I don't cheat, so no cheat days. You'll get used to not eating that type of food, but if you're really serious about doing it, where you can have cheat days, it's okay, but I believe if you really want the results, it's much more preferable if you don't do any cheat days.
Well, there are a couple of things to wanting the results. You have to really want to live. A lot of people say, if you say you want to live, they go, oh, yeah. But if you look at their actions, what they put in the shopping cart in the stores, they don't want to live. It's not a priority. So you really want to live. You want to live to your full potential and as long as you can. Is that correct?
I absolutely want to live to my full potential.
And I know why I believe you, not because you said it, because everybody will say that. I believe you because of what you're doing.
The actions.
The actions. They always come to actions, yeah.
But to be honest, once you start eating this type of food, you won't even want to go back. It's not like, yes, every once in a while you'll be like, oh, could I have that ice cream? There's no question that happens.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the foods you're eating, you can almost, as you're building your muscles, and you can eat as much as you want, and it's absolutely delicious and it makes you feel good. Those foods, after you eat them, you just don't feel very good.
Oh, the other foods, yeah. No, you're right.
So,
yeah.
So basically, these people, they're eating this food, they're buying it, but at the end of the day,
well, it's momentarily they like. A lot of it's comfort food. You get stressed, they eat potato chips, whatever. They just momentarily feel good.
And then even after they eat these types of food, they get so used to it. It's not even a special thing.
It's not special anymore. Yeah. Well, listen, I find this really fascinating, really inspiring because I became, this is a big part of my life, staying alive and also being a weightlifter for 48 years. The four Dr. Nerenberg's 4 laws of exercise are these. It took me 60 years to articulate these simple truths. Never quit. No excuses. The best time to work out is now, and the worst time is later. What are your thoughts about it? I see you shaking your head. Yeah.
No, absolutely. But if you get into this routine, this is just natural. and it's something that you look forward to.
Yeah.
And of course, 2 hours is a lot, right?
It's a lot.
And you don't have to do 2 hours. You just do whatever you can do.
Consistency is key. Whatever the time, consistency.
And obviously, this is a journey of a man, right? And a man. So I do recommend for women, maybe you alter this a little bit.
Now, women, someone says, oh, I don't want to get big and bulky. It's not likely to happen. You're not get big and bulky. It'll firm you up. It'll firm up every part of your body. You want to be firm because as women age, things get droopy. The breast, the arms start drooping. You don't want that, ladies. You want to stay firmed up. And this will do that for you. Plus, you'll be strengthening your bones. So when you're an old lady, your bones are still strong. Whereas others who aren't doing it, they're going to be getting fractures, falling. It's a problem. So you're doing yourself a favor in many ways.
This is just obviously my opinion about it. I feel like you basically have to choose between weightlifting and cardio, right? So basically for guys, I highly recommend weightlifting. For women, I would just choose cardio, to be honest.
Yeah, there's the other way of going. Listen, I don't particularly care for cardio. A lot of power lifters, we don't care for it. We don't care for it. But at the same time, I think in moderation, 15, 20 minutes, 2 or 3 times a week is probably a good idea. It's not for me. I've never, just don't feel like doing that. But I think that coupled with weightlifting would be okay. But your system works, no doubt about it. And the people who incorporate the cardio with diet and they get some good balance.
But I do still feel like for women, you do have to make a choice because they interfere with each other. And if your goal is just to be skinny, straight up skinny.
Well, extensive cardio would be a problem. A moderate amount, it was not going to interfere much. Now, what's said about cardio is you do the weightlifting first, and then you burn up your glycogen, sugar stores, then the cardio will burn up the fat. That's what people who have that balance. Now, I'm just talking about what from the literature. Me personally, I was all weights, and I was doing a little bit of sprinting, just a little bit walking. So I'm in your camp, but the literature indicates there's benefit the other way, but doing the cardio after the weights. Fascinating. Your living testimony that the system totally works. Let me open it up. I want to get the feedback. Tracy, I mean, you're an athlete. You've done so many things athletically. What are your thoughts?
First of all, congratulations on losing the weight and getting that inflammation out of your body, especially in, it's a short time and you say you're stronger and healthier, which congratulations on that. That's a huge, huge milestone. Good for you. There's things that I do agree with, and there's things I do disagree with for my own personal, opinion and experience, but to each his own, because everyone's body is different. So they got to do the thing that works best for them. So, what you were talking about, those red marks on your face or just red marks in general, that's the inflammation just from the previous diet that you had and possibly not getting enough water and everything. So a lot of inflammation left your body. And when people change to their healthier diet, that happens where their skin just looks really, really great. So I'm so glad for you. It's a big deal, especially to keep it disciplined and, to do it like you did. I in 2006, I decided to become a pescatarian, which is only fish. I'm allergic to shellfish, so I cannot eat shellfish. But I just did fish for the first 9 months, and then after that, I just went full vegetarian, ovo-lacto vegetarian. So I would eat eggs, eat honey. I wasn't vegan. I would eat animal products, and then in 2018, I started becoming a pescatarian again. I eat fish maybe like once every other month and once a month, and now I eat fish probably maybe once a week. But eggs, they really are my staple. I eat eggs every day, daily.
Is that the whole? You eat the whole egg, Tracy? The whole egg?
Oh yeah, I eat the whole egg because I really don't have cholesterol. Because cholesterol is what is living. So like in red meats, chicken, things like that. So I just don't eat anything with a feet. I eat with fins.
Well, the thing about the yellow of the egg, extremely nutritious. And the cholesterol you eat from the egg isn't the issue. It's the cholesterol that your body makes. That's the issue. Thing is, for me, the amount of saturated fat in the yolks was raising my triglycerides too high. I had to go just to egg white. But if I could, I'd be eating the whole egg. I just can't do that. But I'm glad you can without raising your triglycerides and cholesterol too high. That's great. Anything else on that, Trace? These are wonderful comments, as always.
Yeah, I feel like 2 hours is really good because when you're in there and you're in the zone, it's kind of like an escape and it's a release. And so it's not like you purposely like, I'm going to be for 2 hours. It's kind of like when I'm done with my set. But I think I like cardio. I think at least 10 minutes minimum of cardio at the beginning to get the blood pumping and the muscles warm, and then get into my weights. And I think it's important for women to have weights because if you just do cardio, then you just become the squish ball. You need to balance that with being firm and to have muscle just to hold yourself up and to help with balance, really.
Well, the point with the cardio, that 10 minutes, again, they talk in terms of warm up. Firstly, what you said works for you. You are strong, so what you're saying works. In no way can I disparage that because that really does work for you. I've seen you outwork. I always tell everybody you can outwork any two men put together, and you're strong. I've witnessed that plenty of times. So the doing it afterwards. Again, the literature indicates that way you're going to burn up more sugar at the beginning. Well, begin with you burning up sugar, then you do it afterwards, burn up the fat. But the cardio, it works for you. You were a runner and you were also a weightlifter. You're just an all-around athlete. Made so many good points on that. So many good points with it. Now, in terms of warming up, what is said about warming up, if you want to warm up, well, the notion now in weightlifting is warm up, but not with cardio. Warm up with doing light weights. So if you want to do bench press, you're going to go heavy. You warm up doing light weights, a lot of reps, warm up. That'll warm up those muscles so when you're doing it, you don't hurt yourself. So the new concept that evolved is warm up with lighter weights for the exercise you're going to do. Now, the other thing that changed when I was growing up, I was an athlete for many different sports. You would do stretching, so presumably not hurt yourself during exercise. Well, then it turns out that now it's advocated is doing your stretching after you work out because you're more prone to injuries if you do it before. Who knew? Who knew? Do your exercise, do your weights, some cardio if you're going to do it, then do your stretching. It's counterintuitive. I didn't grow up with that, but that's the word out. And certainly, let's say you're doing some calf raises, you're working your calves. If you stretch it, you don't want the fascia getting so tight around the muscle, it constricts the growth of the muscle. So if you stretch, you do a calf stretch, that loosens the fascia because you're not dealing just with muscle. You're also dealing with the covering of the muscle, that fascia. That fascia is more important than we ever realized. The fascia is super important. And you want to be able to stretch out that fascia after you're exercising. Otherwise, it constricts in. And by loosening it up, you allow the muscle more room to grow. So the whole role of fascia now is, we didn't even know about it when I was competing, but now we know what it is. It's awesome, awesome, awesome. Very good, Tracy. Yeah.
Well, also the reason why I also warm up at least 10 minutes, and you could do, some people like to do 10 because they don't like to run or they don't like to do the elliptical or don't like to do the row machine. They'll do 10 minutes of jump rope or, and I get what you're saying about weightlifting for warming up, because before I do it, I'll just do like 20 of whatever of the just to get the motion and just to stretch, because I've had previous injuries. Like I broke my arm.
Injuries. We'll talk about injuries in a minute. Yeah.
Like hip flexors and stuff like that. And I feel like just getting a 10-minute warm up, just to get the blood flowing. I like to get the sweat, because then I feel like I go into my workout. If I do cardio at the end, I feel like a piece of Jello. And I don't want to feel like a piece of Jello. And the reason why it also takes me longer is because after every set, I stretch. I don't do static stretching, which is, 30 to 60 seconds, or really ballistic. I do, quick stretches just to stretch the muscle in between, because to have that elasticity, it'll help the muscle stretch in between and grow, and you have that flexibility. You'll get that long, leaner type muscle instead of a bulk and like a stiff.
There's so many approaches that work. Let me tell you, for me, sometimes, and I'm very disciplined. I've been doing 68 years. Sometimes the last damn thing I want to do is go work out, hit the weights. I just don't want to do it. It's like torture sometimes. And a lot of people feel like me. It's just torture. You go in, you get going, and the key for me is the consistency. So I may just have to do 5-10 minutes and I'm out. I'll go in, do that, and I'm gone. Sometimes I just really don't want to do it. And I'm telling this because there could be a lot of people identify with that. It's like torture. Muhammad Ali said he hated working out. He hated it. But he would do it because he wanted to be the champion. But he hated it. But he did it anyway. So discipline is doing something you hate because you know it's good for you. That's a big part of discipline. Yeah, but you're disciplined and love it. That's even better. Yeah, that's great. Well, we only have a few minutes left. I'm getting the countdown, 3 minutes. Anybody else have anything you want to ask or say?
Hi, Dr. Nerenberg. It's Christy.
Hey, Christy.
Hi. So for over a month, I actually have been doing plant-based, which has been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of work. I've lost about 17 pounds on it. But what it does is it motivates me to get back to my routine as well. And so I'm starting to incorporate more fish. But what I really liked was I cut out a lot of, animal fat. I love butter, but they make a vegan option for that as well. And so just being on that has really helped, I think, with...
Plant-based is the way to go, but adding the fish or bees. Christy, go ahead, please continue, and then Encore has another point to make. Yes.
All right. So my typical workout is primarily cardio, because I tend to get bored with weights, but I know that I have to lift weights for all of the reasons that you shared, why it's important to build your muscle mass. But I do spin for about 45 minutes. I do that 3 to 4 times.
And that's not boring to you, is that right?
It's not, because I have my music. I can get in the zone.
A lot of people say that, So you're seeing this approach, but I think boredom is an important thing. I would be bored out of my mind doing cardio. But see, these different systems can work. What we're hearing now is a very unique approach that I personally like. But there's so many approaches. What you're saying, some of the points Tracy made, it's not identical. We each are making a point with a variation. Yeah, please keep going. Yes.
So in addition to that, to my spin workout, I've been there's some stairs. There's a school over in my neighborhood, and I go run those stairs about 5 times. There are like 60 stairs. So I'm creating, it's still cardio, but I'm also working out my leg muscles as well.
Stairs are awesome. Stairs are awesome.
What I saw when I was just previously doing spin by itself, I wasn't attaining my goals as quickly. And then when I started running the stairs, in addition to the spin workout, I started seeing results faster. So my whole thing is I've got to work on my upper body strength.
Working upper body is very, very, very important. In fact, you want to balance legs, upper body. But if you had to just pick one thing, legs is what you live longer with stronger legs. Excellent. Encore, thank you, Christy, for your input. Very, very valuable. Thank you. Yeah.
So
Encore.
I don't like calling this a diet. It's not a diet to me. It's a change in food habits.
I like that much better than the word diet.
This is a permanent change. You don't just, okay, I'm going to go and do this for a while and then I'm going to go back to what I used to do. You have to get used to doing this because that's how you keep the weight off and that's how you continue
because most people yo-yo. They lose the weight, they come back on, they lose the weight, so yo-yo. So that's key. It's a way of life, it's a way of eating, but it's a way of life.
It's forever.
Forever.
And then the other thing is you have to understand, okay, why is it that you like something? So chips, for example. A lot of times people like chips because it's salty. So you might crave those chips for that reason.
Yeah, you can't eat one. When it comes to chips, you can't eat one or two.
If you know that